I want to share my experience on how to support different languages in the app using NLM. For example, if you have in-app messages with a dynamic context, how do you handle that? So I have an app for calories tracking called Calorica, so people may use it from all over the world. I'll show the approach based on this app, so you can try to apply it for your case. Long story short, I needed to solve 3 translation problems. First, Telegram interface, which apparently can be translated intuitively using Botfather, which is cool. So you can set up different information based on the language that you pick. The same stands for the comment buttons here. So you can translate them as well on different languages like this. So the second thing I have to deal with is the responses from the bot to the user, and since I'm using a lot of AI agents here, I can simply delegate this to the agent, asking him to respond in the language of the user, which can be taken from his initial message from the Telegram or from user settings, wherever. So if I know the language of the user, I can simply ask AI agent to respond in that language. So this part is fully covered, and this is cool as well. But the real struggle with the translation comes from the system messages, because you might have a different messages guiding the user inside your application, like asking him to wait or showing him his balance, etc. So you have to translate that as well, because you want all your language to be consistent. So I'm gonna show you how to handle that using NLM, and I'm gonna show you my approach. So I have a separate workflow for messages, right? So this workflow has all different kinds of messages I can send. So it receives a message text, which I'm gonna send to the user chat information, user language, so everything which is needed, and simply sends this message. So the only job of this workflow is to send the message. It has a setting of a translation here, which execute another workflow. So in some messages I need a translation, in some I don't need it. For example, if this message is being sent by AI, I don't need it to be translated. That's why this parameter of a translation here will be false. So, but if it's a system message and it's gonna be true, I will execute this translate sub workflow. Let's go through it. So first, it receives a language from the user and a key of the translation that I'm gonna use, and a message which is like a backup option. For example, something will go wrong and I will not find a translation by this mail. I will always send this message to the user. So then I normalize language to make them ISO-like, because to be on the safe side. That's it. So after that, I'm calling a Supabase and calling a row from a Supabase using key. So here is my Supabase, and here is different system messages that I'm using. So here you might have 2 approaches basically. The one that I'm using, which is simpler in my case, because I do not have many system messages, and I do not want to have a lot of different languages. So I just made different columns, so each column for different language. That's it. So that's only 20 rows with 13 columns, and all I had to do is just to go to ChatGPT and ask to translate me some messages, and then simply copy pasted them here like this. So it's pretty easy. It took me like 20-30 minutes or something like that. So the second approach, that maybe it's more consistent. You will have 3 columns here, one for key, another one for the message, and another one for a language. So you'll have much more rows here, but it's gonna be more consistent. You will be able to support many more languages that I am, but it's up to you which approach you will choose. The only So the only change you'll have to do is to add here filter by language. That's it. So after I'm getting a row, I pick a correct translation using user's language, and here we go. So this workflow returns a proper translation. That's step number one. Okay. So at this point we already have proper translation. Then it goes to the proper chat, etc., etc. We don't care much about that now. So, but when the real problem might be with dynamic system messages, because okay, if it's static, if you just ask user to wait 10 seconds or something like that, it's okay, it's easy, I just showed you how to do it. But what if you want to use some variables in there, like username or email or tokens, etc. So you might have different messages like this. For this situation, the approach gonna be slightly different. Let me show you how. So first, I have a start message. So this message, the user gets it when he onboards to the system. So I have here my start, where it is, my start message. Here we go. And inside the start message, you can see variable 1, variable 2, etc., different things. So in each of the languages, I keep variables unchanged, obviously. So the only thing I have to translate is a static language. So just after that, let's see what's happening. So I got my translation of the start messages, including my variables here. Then this little code does the trick, because what it actually does, it simply replaces everything inside the brackets using objects that I already have in this N8N workflow. So he simply retrieves the information from this object and place it to the message instead of these variables. As you can see here, as an output, I got the name of the user, I got different other parameters of the user, like this, and then it goes to the message sub workflow. So you have two options. If it's a static translation, all you have to do, put it in the database, call it by the key, filter the result, and output it to the user straight away. Another situation, if it's a dynamic, first you get a proper translation by the key, so basically the approach is the same, then you replace variables, and then you send the message to the user. That will allow you to keep all your system messages in one place like this, manage the translations, add different languages pretty easily, and that's it. So I hope it was useful for you. Let me know.